Nate Smoyer from Real Team Panda, host of the TechNest podcast, coming at you with an overview of a company called Divvy Homes, based out of San Francisco, but they are not working in San Francisco, actually focused on several other markets around the country, helping people rent to own homes. Now, renting to owning can be a good path for people who don't have money for the down payment to buy a house. Now, here's how they work. They break it down in 3 simple steps. First, you do your home shopping. This is always for step number 1. Find out what you want. The Divvy team will actually pair you with an agent. They'll provide all the support for you. Step 2 is buy the house. Now, you're not actually buying the house. Divvy is buying the house for you. And then you get to rent back from Divvy for up to 3 years. You can close in as fast as 15 days, and you only have to put 2% down. So for those of you doing math, that's $2,000 for every $100,000 the home costs. And that's to help cover the fees, closing costs, taxes, insurance, all that jazz. And then Divvy gives you the option to buy the home back in 3 years. Now, I don't know what happens if you decide not to buy the home in 3 years. I assume that the money that you were accruing towards your down payment credit of some sort is probably kept by Divvy, and then they have a house to sell. But I have no idea. As you can see by the scrolling marquee, Atlanta, Memphis, Cleveland, those are the 3 major areas that they're working in and helping people rent to own. Now, Divvy's been getting quite a bit of coverage. You can see here, TechNest, that's mine. TechCrunch, Housing Wire, lots of people talking about it, and I think this is kind of cool. It's very clear. Saving is not an American thing to do anymore, but we still want to buy houses, and so this helps people do that. So anyway, their website takes you through to go through a little bit of a pre-approval process. I kind of filled out some stuff here. Don't feel like you learned something that wasn't on the internet already. My phone number is everywhere. Okay, they take you through this short questionnaire that I didn't fill it all the way out. You pick which metro area you want, and then it goes on to further qualify you. Now, I did find that finding homes on their site to search was actually kind of difficult. It's all the way down to the footer, and then here they go. They've got their own little online marketplace, if you will, to find homes. Now, most of these homes, I did some spot checking. They're not exclusive, so it's not like you're going to some sites where they have it's maybe like a streamlined investment type site or something where they have their own listings. These are the same listings you're going to find everywhere else. But the unique option is that they're helping you arrange a rent-to-own scenario. And usually that takes a homeowner who's willing to do financing of some sort. And because Divvy is buying the home for you, they alleviate that problem. So I think it's a really unique way of going about it. Now, I always go back and try to find what's behind the sauce, what's behind the people at companies. And I like to look at their about pages. And so at Divvy, I thought this was kind of cool. We believe in the value of home ownership. If I'd stop it right there. I think that's admirable. I like that that's what they're standing for, and they really want to help people get to that path with a 3-year program. They know it takes years to save up. It also puts them in a pretty good position to make good money as landlords. All right. So here's a little bit about some of the FAQs, about Divvy approval process. I thought they did a really nice job of laying out some of the resources. They outline how it works. Again, that 2% down payment is all you need. And to buy the home back, Divvy provides up to a 10% down payment with no additional cost or money down from you. So pretty cool. It basically comes from the credits from paying your rent. And there's a few other questions there. Obviously there's going to be some things. Rent does start at $1,000 a month. And then here's some of the criteria that you're going to need to be able to meet in order to qualify. Now, Divvy's not doing this all on their own. They are looking to partner with agents, and I imagine that's going to be some of their strategy in expanding into other cities. Now, I happen to know some agents, and I've asked around before, and I talked to an agent that's been doing this game for 15 years, and he had told me he had never once closed or seen a rent-to-own scenario close. Now, I know of ones that have closed. I've seen them close, but I don't know any agents that have ever closed ones. I'd be interested to hear from agents how many of them ever actually done a rent-to-own scenario and helped the client through that. Now, I did I wanted to look at some Google Trends to see, are people even searching to rent-to-own homes? And it does look like, it flutters here and there. This is the last 12 months, and then you can take it back, further if you want, the last 5 years to see, where's the education on something like this. And this kind of gives you the perspective of, hey, if people are searching for something already, then they know something about it. Now, as you can see here, the market has very distinct patterns, right? Look at that. Look at it. December, people start thinking about it. They're just thinking about the next year, right? Every year. So right now is the time, Divvy, if you're watching this is the search pattern. This is the time to start thinking about how do we get people to think about home ownership early next year, because the demand just every year for the last 5 years just bumps right up. Now, this is what I thought was interesting. So I'm going to go into a little bit of the marketing side. Did a little SEM rush analysis on Divvy Homes, and I don't see much in the paid advertisements world. Looks like they're doing some organic, and that's been helping. They definitely got some great press this year, so you can see some of the traffic that's boosted up there, but not a lot of words outside of their brand name. Which, if you're trying to expand in the markets like Cleveland, Atlanta, and Memphis, which have tons of competition from with investors, flippers, institutionalized buy and holds. I think that you have to get a little bit more competitive on the search game in order for people to find you. Also, taking a look at some of their Facebook ads, I thought one of them did a really good job of summarizing. I love that you guys can see like the instant game stuff. It's showing you like what my friends play. Where was that ad at? So I think it was the second one here. Moving to your new home in 15 days, rent your future home starting $1,000 a month. I mean, they just really boil it down. I thought that's great. Pick any home, we'll buy it for you. That's really fascinating. Almost sounds too good to be true, but they're definitely doing something right. Now, this is why I'm very hopeful for Divvy. They are growing. You can see they have secured some funding, and they are growing. This is their jobs page, just in case if you're interested. Over on Angel, they're looking for engineers. They got marketing. They're looking for people to do some of the other stuff that requires. Now, as I alluded to on the search front, I did some searches, rent to own Cleveland. This isn't the scientific stuff here, man. But, this gives you an idea. There's already competition out here. We've got Buddy Rents, rent before owning, right? Now, some of these searches I did, and I saw stuff like Rent-A-Center came up, but it's clearly not what my search intent was. I actually couldn't trigger an ad for Atlanta. I'm not really sure why. I didn't see much when I looked it up in SEM Rush either, that it's not being heavily, there's not heavy competition there. So I don't know if someone skipped over that market or what's going on. And again, rent to own Memphis, rentbeforeowning.com. There it is. And you can see a few other organic solutions have popped up along with some of these items here. And last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about the funding, what's driving Divvy, and who's behind it. So $37 million they have raised. Like I mentioned, they are based out of San Francisco. They have several co-founders, and some of the companies behind them, I thought was really interesting. So you can see here, they've been working on this for a little while now. Let's see, we can click on. Oh, here you go. So Caffeinated Capital, Andreessen Horowitz. That's probably to me, that's the biggest name. I'm not exactly a venture capital expert, but if you see Andreessen Horowitz on it, you know that it's full-on certified, and a handful of others here. So anyway, that is Divvy Homes, rent to own with a little twist. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Do you think rent to own is the right solution? I know that some people have some very pointed opinions on rent to own. Personally, I'm up for it, man. If someone wants to rent to own a house to me, let's talk. I'd be all about that and using that as a way to house hack another property. So anyway, that's it for this week. Divvy Homes. I'll go back to their website so you can see it. DivvyHomes.com. That's with two V's, DIVVY, homes.com. Check them out. TechNest Podcast. We got more episodes on the way. Stay tuned, and if I don't talk to you before my next overview, or I post up something in between then, you guys, hey, have a good one, and we'll see you at the next one. Thanks.